as someone who journals, I feel like one of the joys of journaling is revisiting your old journals and being like, let's see what middle school, high school me had to say back then. And I came across this one page that I thought was a little humorous. It was along the lines of, I hope the future me reading this is mentally better.
Aww.
Brought tears to my eyes for the wrong reasons. Because literally, I was like, clock that, Joey. I'm so sorry, middle school you. I am actually mentally unwell the same way. If not, a little worse. But this is...
in a more complex way.
The flavors are melting on my tongue. I just feel like reading my journal, it like hit me that, oh my God, I'm getting older, and I'm getting at that age. I'm 20. I'm getting at the age where I thought, like 10 years ago, I was like, wow, 20-year-old Joey's going to be like the best thing ever. She's going to be perfect. She's going to be happier. She's going to be healthier.
She's going to be rich and powerful.
But I'm here. I'm 20 and
I'm not rich.
I'm not powerful.
And I'm unwell.
And like, I think a big part of it is because the problem I have is that like, I just have a lot of self-belief, but in future me. Not in, like, it's like no. I have not to say I don't have belief in me right now, but it's like I just have this like blind faith that like future me perfect, future me has got everything, is like she is that girl. But the thing is that I think I'm having too much of an over reliance on my future self to the point where I'm not accomplishing my dreams, my dreams of being, you know, a little mentally better or like just being a little happier. And I think like doing, like, I journaled about it and it did help. Journaling did help me. But I did want to talk about like what I had found in my journaling stuff and like why it's a problem that I have an over reliance on my future self and why my dreams cannot be trusted in the hands of my future self. But before we get started, I wanted to introduce the podcast. You know, this is fantastic. Welcome back. We're a self-improvement podcast that loves to talk about self-confidence and friendship. I'm Joey.
And I'm Ian. And
we're two siblings, two best friends. And cue the intro. So back to what I was saying. My problem is that I have a over-reliance on my future self. And that's causing me not to accomplish some of my goals. And I think when I really think about it, it's like, why do I have this really crazy belief that my future self will be good? I mean, you know, obviously you want to think of the future as positive, so it does make sense, but like, why do I still believe that, you know?
Or like, why isn't it not working for you?
Yeah, why isn't it working? Like, what am I doing wrong, or what am I not doing? And I want to talk about it today because I came up with 3 things, like 3 lies that I have about my future self that you might have, and you know, you can catch yourself and be like, wait, that's a lie that Joey said and you shouldn't be believing that, you know?
True.
So the first lie I have is that future you will have more time. Okay. Yikes. All the procrastinators just, oops.
Yeah. I see your eyes. It's wide open.
I think like we have this idea that like the future will just like, we'll just have more time. Our schedules will be free. That calendar open.
Yeah.
You know, like nothing
the time,
on
a lot of it.
And that's not the case. Okay. Like when you have a to-do list, when you're like planning out your week, you can be like, okay, I have to do this, this, and this. And you might be like, oh, I really wanted to do, I don't know, a kite party, but I don't have time this week. So I'll put it off for next week. Because next week.
You say kite party?
Yes.
Okay.
So I couldn't think of something.
Okay.
But I thought of kite party. Okay.
Hey, maybe you'll think about one in the future.
But like you'll move on, or you push the thing back to the next week, and then next week comes around and you realize you have so many other things to do, so then you keep pushing the kite party. And I think that's what I keep doing with like my goals, where I'll be like, oh, I need to start reading that book that's like really good on mental health, and then I'll be like, oh, I don't have time, I'll do it next week. Next week. And then now I'm just procrastinating, and I'm justifying the procrastination because I'm like, wait, it's okay because my future self, she got my back.
Yeah.
She will do that. As that girl, she will do the thing. But I'm future me right now, and I can say that I haven't been making the time. That's another thing. I feel like when I assume that I have more time, I don't make the time right now.
Yeah, because you think that it's going to happen in the future and that your future self got your back.
Yeah, and that also like the stars will align and it'll be like the perfect scenario to start doing that thing, to start picking up that book. But there is no such thing as like the perfect time. Like you kind of have to carve out your own time and carve out that opportunity to do the thing you want to do. Otherwise, it'll just never get done. And then overall, I feel like, shoot, I'm not making progress. You know, like one example I have was in October of last year. I was like, I have to do my college applications because I really want to get into art school. And I'm like, this would be a good chance to start because it's a couple months before the deadline, which is in January. And then I was like, you know what? I have school, I have work, I'm a little busy. But in a couple months from now, school will be over, I'll be on break, and it'll be the perfect opportunity to do all my work. Well, flash forward to January, there were a bunch of fires in California, and then I got so stressed, bro. I was literally like crashing out like every day where I was like, oh my God, it's literally like, there's everywhere. They're like all surrounding me, like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And it was like, it like hit me that like a couple months ago, I had more time. I had a better time to do it. But because I had this belief that my future self would have more time, I put it off. And now I'm like stressed.
Yeah.
And like, what the flip? So all that to say, it's like, I can't trust myself. I can't trust that my future self will have more time. So I might as well just do it right now when I do have the time, or carve out that time, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so the second lie I have is that my future self will have better habits. Okay. This one might sound a little funky, maybe if you like don't have older siblings or have older friends, but I have this idea in my head that like future me, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, she's older, and older, like older in age equals better habits, equals more skill. And you just magically get those sorts of skills when you're older.
Yeah.
Like I think like because I have like older brothers and stuff, I'm like, wow, Ian, you're so good at like writing, like, Leah, how are you so good at like talking to people, blah blah blah. And I just assume it's because he's older, but it's because he actually puts in the effort.
Yeah.
I did not know that. You know, I just assumed, you know, you can go back to that journal entry that we were talking about, right? Where it's like, yeah, I hope future me or future us will have better mental health.
Nah. It actually gets worse, guys.
Yeah, it gets more complex, you know? And like, oh, man, I think you need to acknowledge that like you actually have to put in the effort and put in the work if you want better habits. I think another important part of it is that your future self will only have the skills you currently have or currently building. And like, if I'm not putting effort to, I don't know, have better sleep or better time management, then how am I supposed to expect my future self to have those skills?
Yeah.
Because like I only have control over my current self. My past self, done. My future self, I don't know. But my current self, I have the power to actually do stuff. I have agency. But am I doing stuff for good or for bad?
Yeah.
Am I getting myself closer to my dream self or farther away? You know? And then the last one I have is that, hey, your future self doesn't exist.
Surprise. Yeah.
What? Like, not to sound kind of dark, but there's no guarantee that your future self will exist, that 10 years from now you'll still be living. So I don't know why I've been putting all this like reliance and putting my dreams in the hands of my future self, because I don't know if they exist. I'm like just believing in this fictional version of me when I have myself right now and I can just rely on myself. And I feel like that's more reliable and like it makes more sense. Like I said, it's
more realistic too.
Yes, exactly. I won't have the time, I won't have the energy, or I don't know if I will have the time or have the energy. So I should look inward now and see, can I put in the effort? Can I find the time?
Yeah.
And then just do the thing. I feel like a lot of it just comes down to, you should just start, like,
You should just do it.
You should just do the thing. I know it's like really hard. And I think the reason why it's been particularly hard for me is because I believe in these lies that my future self has time and has the energy. But like, I think I need to stop doing that. I need to let go of those ideas and just start now. And going back to mental health, guys, let's start clapping. Guess who started therapy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I started
Nice.
therapy, and like in the beginning of the session, I was like, ugh, is this really useful? I can just journal. As if that's been helping me. Hello. I literally thought, I'm like, it's just like talking to someone, validating validating my feelings. So I thought maybe it's not going to be effective. But by the end of the session, where she had said like, you know, you're valid for feeling that way, using like all those therapy terms, and I was
Yeah.
like, wait, thank you for making me feel validated and also putting my feelings into context.
Yeah.
And it felt so nice. And I think it's like the thing that younger me wish I had done so many years ago. And the reason it's important to stop believing any of these lies is because it just makes it harder for you to get closer to your future self. I
Yeah.
feel like it makes the vision farther away. It takes longer to reach your goals. And I think now I have to unlearn all this negative self-talk I've had for like the past couple of years. But if I was younger, it probably would have been easier. But if I delayed it even more, it would have been harder for me 10 years from now. So I'm really happy and proud of myself that I'm actually taking a step to do something about it. And I think like I've done it in other aspects where I've like, you know, improved in like drawing and time management. But now I'm like actually getting down to the nitty gritty and
Yeah,
fixing
yeah,
my
yeah.
mental health. Whoa.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just really happy about that. And to recap of this episode, if you're struggling to accomplish your dreams, maybe you feel like the vision is getting farther and farther away, consider that you're relying too much on your future self and that you're believing in this fictional version of you that doesn't exist yet, and that you actually have your own power to do stuff right now.
Yeah.
You know, there's no guarantee that you'll have the time in the future, that you'll have the energy in the future. There's no guarantee that your future exists. So might as well.
Put your dreams in your own hands.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better, pal.
Thanks, man.
So if there's one thing, one takeaway, I think like one challenge of the week I would want to post to you is like, if there's any dream that you have, because you know your dreams, you already know them. They're already in your head. If you have a dream, just do one simple thing that'll get you closer to it. And feel free to comment down below because I'd love to read it. That's all for today's episode though.
Sweet.
Thank you for listening. And
We'll see you next Thursday.
yes, bye.
Bye, guys.